this week, Chloe suggests shutting down Heathrow Airport. I get angry about protesters, and David has a sad story that he promises is gonna be funny. So, let's strap down, let's strap in, and let's do this.
This is just another trucking podcast.
Hello, this is Just Another Trucking Podcast. I am your host, Tom, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friends, my co-hosts, and bane of my lives as well. Hello.
Wow.
Hello, I suppose.
I don't know how to take that. Yeah.
He's honest. He's just
Bane
he's
of
just
your
honest.
lives. We make your life so much better.
Do you
Yeah.
know? Do
For
you?
at least 2 hours a week,
Yeah.
maybe.
I'd say
no.
so. Yeah, just about. Yeah, just about.
We are
It's
your
because of this podcast,
therapy
you're
friends.
a millionaire because of
Yeah.
the millions and millions of views we get
Yeah.
every single
You
week.
know.
All right.
Depression sorted. You're laughing.
Yeah.
You know, we
I-
are free to you. That's
I
worth
can
a lot
confirm.
Of money,
Depression, check. Millionaire, not check. They're-
What you
You
keep
have
spending
them
your
two
money?
things.
What are you spending those millions of dollars on?
that. Not on us, that's for sure.
Fucking hell, I don't know. Right.
How are you getting on then, Tom? Go on.
I'm honestly not too bad. Not too bad. I had my truck broke again.
Yeah.
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 I don't.
It conveniently broke, or you broke it.
No, it bloody broke, and it was out of action for 2 days. I've been saying.
Oh.
Do you
There
get
was-
paid
there
for
was-
that if
Yeah.
you
What
can't
did
work?
you do?
Well, for on Thursday morning. Well, so Thursday morning I got in, and if you know the tacos we talk about, David, the gods came in, and it said power outage, had an error code on it. So I was like,
Oh.
okay. So I thought obviously battery was gone during the night or something like that, but it started, and I was like, all right, well, it started, and then I clicked OK on it, and it said sensor fault 20, sensor fault 21.
Oh no.
Oh, those two. Oh, I hate when those.
Oh
happen.
yeah. Well, I mean, actually, I don't know them,
Bastards.
but I knew something had gone wrong. So they cleared off, weren't a problem at all. And I thought, well, I'll message the boss, and I'll just say, listen, I've had these things come up. I'm going to crack on with it, but they're there. Anyways, I set off, and as I set off, it came up and said motion mismatch or something like that.
Oh.
Or it said something weird on it. And I was looking at it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? As I'm going down, and it's not picking up any speed at all. It's like 15, 20 miles an hour. By the way, it shouldn't occur to me, this is actually quite a long story. This is only supposed to be like a few seconds long. And so it brought up this thing, and then I noticed there was no speed. It was just 0 miles an hour on the dashboard.
Were you moving?
Oh.
I was definitely moving. So
Kind of sounds like your wheels weren't moving, or at least the wheels.
Yeah, it wasn't registering or something. Yeah.
Well, so I spun it round, and I put it back in the yard, and I called up the boss, and he called Volvo, and he said, right, we'll have to get someone out to you. So someone came out, and he said, we're going to have to take it to Volvo,
Oh
but
no.
we need you to drive it. I was like, oh, right.
Otherwise, it
okay,
would cost
that's
thousands of dollars to get it.
And
towed
how
there.
far?
Exactly.
How far did you have to go though?
30 minutes or so it was. So I drove
So-
30 minutes to Volvo with him
Yeah.
following with amber lights on,
Yeah.
and we couldn't take the motorway because the maximum speed to get out of it was 35. And yeah, it wasn't a fun drive because like you come out of a roundabout and you'd be like, nope, just not. I'm gonna stay in fourth gear, and it wouldn't go into manual. It wouldn't do anything, and it was an absolute
Oh no.
So I took it in. It turns out some cable had melted, and it actually explained a bunch of other issues that I've been having with it and been reporting about it. Like, we talked a little while ago about reporting every single. We talked a little while ago about reporting every single
Well, all
thing
your
that came up on the
defects and stuff.
dashboard.
Yeah.
Well, because I'd done that, the company had a record, and they've been posting it to Volvo, and they had a record of everything that I'd reported. And
So
so
they
they said,
knew
well,
what it
no,
was.
because on the 22nd of this date, he actually reported that there was this issue here. We've told you about it. So Volvo were like, okay, yeah, we'll sort all that. So, yeah, there you go. Lesson learned. Always report
I
It
shit.
suppose
took 2
so.
days.
Oh yeah, there was brakes needed doing as well. So
Oh, okay.
but
Well,
while it was in, so
You know, a lot of the time, again, I completely agree that every time you have something wrong with a truck, you should report it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It just breaks my heart the fact that once they say, "All right, you know, go ahead and swing by Freightliner dealership on your way to blah blah blah," I'm like, "Okay, but can you let them know that I'm on my way?" No, you got to once you get there, you can check in.
Oh no,
But
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
getting paid to wait for this. And then
No,
I'm like,
I
okay,
get
and
you.
then
I get you.
you know what I mean? And it's very frustrating, and it's just, yeah. So sometimes it's just more
But-
like I'll wait till I go take my couple of weeks off or whatever it is, or a couple of days.
Oh, suddenly it's damaged.
Yeah, all
But
happened at the exact
on
same
the,
time.
on the
a mile
swing
before I got
side
here.
of it though, if Volvo had picked up these other issues and had kind of said, okay, these are all a bit weird, maybe we should bring this truck in, which is what
Yeah.
they should have done, then they would have discovered the problem beforehand and it wouldn't have been off the road for 2 days. So
Potentially, yeah.
yeah. It's one of them things where I get your point, but I think there'll be the occasion where it bites in your ass if you do, and occasion where it'll bite your ass if you don't.
Yeah.
But I think
You kind of better to cover your ass, though, aren't you? If you've made that initial defect, it's not in your hands necessarily then, because you've been told to crack on, or Volvo have said crack on, whatever.
Well, and this is actually going to tie in with something else. The main thing is, and I might disappoint some regulars, well, not regulars, but people who are coming into this podcast new, never listened to it before. We're truck drivers.
Oh, wait.
We're not mechanics.
No,
we're not.
no.
We're not the most.
Knowledgeable?
Yeah, the drivetrain-ness of it.
Yeah.
Don't really
We just
know
don't
it.
know the names of
Yeah.
I
anything.
can't remember what it was now.
We know how to drive. We know how to,
It's
but
the train. It's the
Yeah.
thing that looks like a train under the cab. Yeah, that's what that
the
is.
amount of times that I have forgotten simple words, it's just because you
Yeah.
don't use them on a regular day basis. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's
It's
just
like,
some shit. I don't know.
You see it every day, but you just see it. You know what I mean? Sometimes I like to say, as I'm like, hey, for all I know, there's pixie dust making those wheels move. You know what I mean? We're not paid to understand
That'd be
exactly
awesome.
what is actually going on inside the engine. We're just paid to actually get from A to B.
If we had pixie dust, that would stop all this oil protesting. There you go.
Well,
Just solve the problem.
I liked that. That was a nice transition to the first story.
Yeah,
but
you're welcome.
just very quickly though, I was going to quickly transition because I was going to say I had someone come up to me in, I think, Tamworth Services, and
Okay.
I believe your name was John. Hello, John.
Hi, John.
Unless your name wasn't John, in which I apologise, but I think you know. Basically, came up to me and he started talking about the podcast, and he said the first thing I heard him say was something like "bloody tipper drivers" or something like that, or tipper wanker. Which I mean, credit where it's due. If you're going to come up to me and call me a tipper wanker, I mean, pat's off to you. I immediately like you as a person. You're my kind of. But and then he's like, "You don't know nothing about trucks, do you?" I'm like, "No." Honestly, I do not. I do not know fuck all about trucks.
I'm pretty
I
sure this
just
is why
drive
people
them.
come and listen to the podcast, really, just to
It's for the
hear us
information.
idiots.
Yeah, it's information.
The
Make them feel
knowledge.
good about their lack of knowledge
Yeah.
in trucking. I'm like, oh, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Just before going to the protest and all of that sort of thing, should we just quickly mention if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to leave us a comment, put something lovely in the comments below.
Or
Share,
nasty.
Subscribe. Yes.
subscribe,
Give us some
obviously,
love.
yeah. And if you are listening to us, if you listen to us on iTunes, leave us a review. Please leave us a review. That we'd love that very, very much.
Yes. It's nice to hear feedback as well.
Do we
And tell
actually
us
get
about us.
feedback on iOS?
We do occasionally. I was having a look at this a little while ago.
Like we're
So-
nearly
so
always
what-
guaranteed to get comments on YouTube, but I feel like it's
yeah,
just
not many
easier,
reviews. I think
accessible.
we need some reviews.
Well,
I'm
tell you
pretty
what.
sure it's very
Tell
accessible.
people about salmonslap.com. I'm going to quickly go and search this.
Okay, go to salmonslap.com where you can get T-shirts
God,
just
please
like the one
stretch this
Chloe
out.
is wearing.
I am wearing a
And,
t-shirt.
Yeah,
If
there
you're
we
listening,
go.
you can't see it. Maybe
The
check
one
out
that Tom's
website.
wearing is very exclusive. Only Tom owns that T-shirt, so you cannot get that T-shirt on the website. So we're very sorry for that. But if you do want to pay, like, I don't know, like $500, I'm sure Tom will actually send it to you himself.
And
Um,
David's
I'm
wearing
okay with
classic
that.
grey.
Classic
Famous
grey.
grey.
Yeah, famous grey. It matches my beard.
Come on, Tom.
Yeah. What else? You can buy cups. You can buy magnets. You can buy other stuff
T-shirts,
that
jumpers.
You're nailing this, mate. You're fucking nailing this.
I know,
You've
all
put
right.
us on
I
the
know.
spot, right? This is hard. We're waiting for you to get some facts, and we don't know what we're talking about.
To be honest, with you, we've not had any iTunes reviews in a little while. Last one we had was every episode is completely different. Haven't got a clue where it's going to go, but it's always very entertaining. From
Nice one.
and
is
wow,
pretty much
that
spot
name.
on.
This name is spelled. Fuck me! What in God's name?
Oh, are you going to butcher this one?
TFHGYWTFFTCZ.
Is it an acronym?
VWY. I've no idea.
That's a long acronym.
Yeah, maybe if that is a company name, you need to shorten that down to something other than that, because I only got halfway through that.
Are you joking? That wasn't even all of it.
No, that was only halfway through. I gave up. I literally gave up. It was too hard for my brain. Let's talk about protests.
Yes, I know you're dying to talk about it.
Well, I don't know.
Have you seen them? Have they disrupted you?
No, not disrupting me. But I hear about them all the time from different guys.
All over social media.
Luke's been
For
talking
the people
about
who
them
don't know what you're kind of half talking about, including myself, because this is kind of I just found out about this
5 seconds ago.
Yeah. So what's exactly happening?
Right. So this is a group called Just Stop Oil, who we have talked about previously.
Oh, was that where your man, like he got into their van and parked it off into the shoulder because they were blocking traffic?
Yes, that was that TikTok. Yes.
So I think it's similar people, but it's not.
Oh, is that not the same people?
Quite.
But are they doing the same kind of things? What kind of stuff are these protesters doing that's pissing people off?
So one dude has been covering Barclays in Aberdeen in orange paint.
Okay, that sounds fair enough.
I mean, he might just be a Tom supporter and spreading the ginger, but
yeah.
Wait, what? So the things that I've seen them do, one of which is they've been going into petrol stations and damaging the pumps, not the actual pumps themselves, but where it shows you the price. Because in the UK, at least, you legally need to be able to see the price.
Yeah, the same with us too.
Yeah. So if they damage that, then they can't use it. So, and they're going in and they're doing this and they're recording it, which is criminal damage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. I mean, it's not great for the companies, but I can kind of. I mean,
it's one way to stop it.
Yeah,
that's one way to stop it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't agree with it, but I kind of half understand it. The main one that they're kind of doing is blocking the M25, which at the best of times isn't the best motorway.
So there's been a lass that's blocked it, isn't there? And then there was two blokes that climbed up the bridge as well.
There's a massive bridge on it. So there is, yeah. And I don't know if you want to search that one there, David. Basically, is it the Queen? Is it Queen Elizabeth Bridge? Is it?
Is this? I'm searching on Google, or I'm searching on.
Yeah, but what they've been doing is they've been climbing up onto the gantry, so the overhead things, which there's
support it. Yeah.
Well, no, it's the ones that do you know the smart motorways, which shows you the current
is
speed
that what it
and
was?
all of that.
Yeah, I thought they climbed right on top of this giant bridge.
They did as well, but the current one that they're doing is the climbing up these gantries.
That was the last, wasn't it, that did that?
And so it's obviously causing huge amounts of disruption. But what they've said now is, I believe they've attributed 2 deaths directly to this.
Oh, have they really?
Because ambulances couldn't get to where they were going to go, I'm guessing?
Couldn't get where they need to go. And then the other one, which is not as bad, but actually quite sad. So his dad died, and because of the protests, he couldn't go to the funeral. So he missed
Oh,
his
that would
one
suck.
and only chance to go and see his dad away.
Oh, that
which
would suck.
is
They couldn't wait for him?
just. Well, no, because in the day, if
No,
everyone
the
else
fu-
is
yeah,
there,
the
it's funeral,
funerals,
you can't.
They are timed. They crack on because
Yeah.
they've normally got 1 or 2 booked during the day. So as
And you
soon
get-
as one's over, they've got a next one going on. So you can't delay it, can you?
Yeah. There's nothing,
Gotcha.
nothing he could do. I mean, he's stuck in traffic. He can't get there because of it.
Well,
It's not
in
his
their
fault, and
heads,
it's-
what they're basically saying collateral damage is fine.
It's a
basically.
necessary thing for their words
Yes.
to get across. Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand. Like your one that was talking on the video that you showed me, there was basically she was on Sky News talking to one of the presenters. I'm sure is famous. I have no idea, but
It's quite. He's one of
he's
them.
known.
He's
He's
a very
known-ish.
known.
Yeah.
gotcha.
Anchor,
Like Tucker
news
Carlson?
anchor. No, not like
understand.
Tucker Carlson. He's quite a reasonable person, quite liked.
Gotcha. Where she's just basically because she's young. All right. Again, old people don't give a crap about young people because they've already. Why would they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just I understand where she's coming from, and I obviously I don't live in England. It's not upsetting me. It's not, you know what I mean. I'm sure if I was getting paid hourly, I probably wouldn't be upset. But getting paid per mile.
Oh
I
yeah.
would be
Well, yeah,
fucking
David,
angry.
can you imagine if you? Yeah, that would be the thing, isn't it? If you
Well, that
got
happens
stopped,
all the
you
time.
wouldn't
That
get
happens
paid
all the
for
time.
it.
Yeah, like how long would they stop for on that bridge?
It was quite a while,
Days,
wasn't
some of
it?
them.
Days.
Was it?
Yeah.
No.
There was, I'm sure it was like one of them was 2 days.
Oh,
But
that was
it's-
the bridge. They
But
closed the bridge,
but
wasn't it?
this is the point. So if
Yeah.
it had been one thing, if it had been like just the guys that had climbed the bridge, and that was the big thing, and
yeah.
that was the fanfare. But the problem is they've gone, oh yeah, we're getting talked about, and again,
And they're
it's
jumping on
this.
it.
I think a lot of these things nowadays, that all they're trying to do is just get the name out,
Yeah.
and they're not thinking about the consequences, or are they? It's
Well, it's that
It's-
thing of no media is bad media, is it? Sort of thing. They're getting their name across,
yeah, but,
even if it's in a
no
bad
one's
light. They
looking
are
at
getting known about it.
yeah, but no one's looking at the message.
Well,
Well, no, I know that's
okay,
the problem.
And
the
this
message
is the
is getting
point.
out there, but the message is getting more. Even though it's very little, it's still getting more than none.
And plus,
Alright.
they're getting angry reports.
Like the fact that she was on the news, there you go, boom. Like she would not have been talking to that news anchor if she wasn't doing what she was doing, and her message was getting out there.
I fully agree with you, but the point of that, and what we'll do is we'll link it. Should we? We'll
Yeah,
try.
I'll try to remember to
We'll
put a
put a
link
link
in the
into the description, or we'll do something. But so just so you can go and have a look at the one that we're talking about. But the whole point of that was of this, and it's like 11 minutes this interview, and the whole point of it is. And it's what I'm saying here. The message is getting diluted by you just causing acts on people. That's happening is people are getting
Yeah.
pissed off with you.
Yeah.
You're yes, okay, you're getting your name out there. But the reason why that they got asked on to Sky News was to ask them, what are you doing, and do you understand the consequences of what is happening?
Yeah, they
People
weren't really
are now
asking
dying
what it is,
because of
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Lives
is, though, who-
lost.
If
Now-
lives are being lost, who's being accountable for that? Because they're potential lives that could have been saved. So, like, shouldn't someone be getting put down
Well,
for manslaughter?
one second.
Effectively.
Is it Essex?
Anyway, for those who want to actually search on Google and don't want to actually click on the link below, because I probably have forgotten to put the link down below, I would search "Stop Shouting at Me." Sky Mark Austin challenges just stop oil activist. So you can Google that, and I'm sure you'll.
Just stop shouting at me.
Yeah.
So here's something for you. Essex Police has stated that it's running out of vegan meals because it has arrested so many Just Stop Oil protesters.
What? Are they all vegans then?
What do you reckon? Do you reckon the people who climb the gantries like, you know what, love, I'll have a fucking nice steak tonight? I don't.
I would,
Let's be
after
honest,
that.
they're not, are they?
Wow.
Apparently, they've arrested 17 so far.
Well,
I mean,
again, if they're
all?
doing something illegal, then yeah, they know what the
well,
consequences
yeah,
are.
it's illegal. It's
Yeah.
I'm sure is it not trespassing to go on the motorway? I know you can get.
I
I'm sure
just
you can
didn't
get.
think you were
sure it
allowed
is.
to walk on it anyway. I just thought it was a general rule, isn't it? Because of how dangerous it is. I actually don't know. I actually genuinely don't know. Come on, Tom. Fact
Just trying
find
to
it.
find it now.
Um,
Honestly, it's.
I'm
What are you
on.
searching?
I'm on the side. Basically, this is kind of half saying what my political view is, but I'm on the side of lowering emissions, and I believe in climate, not climate control. Was it climate control?
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
trying to kind of control that emissions stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making a
I'm a
push.
believer in it, and that we're hurting, and we should, cut it down a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well,
But
I did an interview this week with a chap on electric vehicles and what my opinions of them are, and should we be making switches to it, and should we be making switches to other vehicles, other fuel sources.
Yeah.
And absolutely, I'm in agreement with you, David. My issue is the tactics that they're using is not working, and not only is it not working, it's actually risking lives, it's affecting lives, and it's affecting businesses as well. And I know, saying affecting businesses is like, but
Well, in this day and age of everything going on, it's not something you want to be affecting, is it?
well, it
That's
is,
the problem.
and especially with like currently the economy's fucked.
Yeah.
well, their argument for anything that you're going to say or you could possibly say is like, this is about the future. All right.
Yeah.
They don't care about your business. They care about living in 100 years. All right. They care about their grandkids able to have a place to live without it. So that will always be their argument. So say whatever you want. For all they don't care about your business, because that's not what they're. Again, your business is just whatever it is. You know what I mean? That's small compared to their survival
That's just a today
and keeping
thing,
the human race going. You know what I mean? So again, Yeah, you can say, but go ahead.
I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're saying there, and I'm in agreement with it. But my point, okay, so currently with the economy and with how prices are going up, and at the moment, I genuinely, I'm nervous about Christmas. I'm nervous if I'll have enough money coming out of Christmas to repair my car if it needs it. I have financial concerns, as does a lot of people. A huge amount of people have genuine financial concerns, and they're doing these things here. They're blocking the motorway, which is affecting people's jobs.
Absolutely, and I would be pissed at that.
But this is my point. People are angry about this.
Mm-hmm.
It means that people can't get to work.
Yeah.
So that means that you've technically had a day off. It's not your fault.
Also wasting fuel.
Well, exactly. You got people setting cars.
They're idling.
They're cold. They'll have to idle
idling.
cars.
Especially with the weather at the moment, it's cold.
I get what they're doing, but there has to be better ways of doing it. Now, don't
there
get me wrong,
probably should be, but they don't know. As like she even said to your man, the anchor, as in like, all right, you tell us to do something better. Oh, it's not my job to come up with stuff. I'm like, but it's your job to judge. All right. I would be
why
just
don't they
as
find
angry
out
as anybody out there when it comes to as in like me not getting to work, me getting pissed off that I'm not working, and I can't pay for Christmas, and I'm fine with I'm on that. But the argument will always be the trump card. They don't care about Christmas.
But my point is, why can't they find the politicians? Go and find the politicians' houses. Go and sit out them fuckers, out them wankers' houses. Block their driveway. Mm-hmm. Don't block the M25 when people are trying to get to work. Well, they fucking don't. They're all fucking jet setting around the world, and they're in fucking Barbados and shit. The wankers. So
they use helicopters.
Why aren't they going on to airports and stopping planes moving?
Oh my god! Do not suggest that, for the love of Christ. Actually,
wouldn't that make more sense?
Go and sit on Heathrow.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
I tell you what.
You're not obstructing normal people.
I hope they never do this, because this would be the absolutely worst thing in the world. In order to stop an airport from going anywhere, and like all you have to do is fly some drones around.
I was about to say, all you got to do is fly a drone in, haven't you?
Tell you what, they've got,
and they've done that.
Yeah,
with Heathrow.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I think they've got They've
Not
got
they,
anti-drone
meaning it has
technology now,
happened.
haven't they?
Right, just in general.
They do, but maybe you buy a ton of them. I don't know. Again, you can.
Army of
I'm not
drones.
suggesting what to do here. I'm just like, if I was to do something, that's what I would. You know what I mean? Because
Have
you
you
can get.
seen? Have you seen those amazing drones that you can make like light displays? They could have it in light up the night
Wow,
sky.
we are going on to a fucking tangent.
That is
here.
yes, I have
Yes,
seen those.
I have.
Would
and
that
they're
not
really
be a better
cool,
message
yeah.
saying "save the oil" or whatever you want, and then you can have that as a giant message in
I
the
don't
sky?
think they're not looking to save oil. They're wanting to stop us using
You
it.
know what I mean?
This is not a whale. For fuck's sake, Chloe, have you been listening to any of this?
Not really, no. But you know what I mean? That... I'm just coming in here with my opinions, all right? And this is the best I've got.
Okay, all right.
It was getting way too
let's,
serious for me.
let's buy $100,000 worth of drones so we
Yes.
can make a message.
Make sure
yeah.
they're electric ones and not petrol ones, though.
You know what?
Is
Right
there
up
such a
until
thing
this
as
point,
petrol ones?
I don't know, you get little petrol motor control cars, don't you? I just thought there might be petrol drones.
right up until this point, I forgot what podcast I was on, and then as soon as Chloe came out, I was like, "Oh right, this is still our podcast, isn't it?"
My bad. I had to
Petrol
throw some
powered
lightness in there.
Fucking shitting fuck.
Right.
I don't.
I'm so
Now-
sorry.
Those cars that were up on, like, they were up on that bridge for days, correct? Let's say 2 days. How can they, surely they have to get out and walk
I think-
home.
I think.
Well,
I
no, I
think they
don't know if
turned
the
them round,
cars were
didn't they?
stuck. It was the people that were there, isn't it? The ones on
They
the
were in the
bridge,
car.
they had. Yeah, but I think they got turned around and redirected. It
I
was
think
the
there was
bridge
some-
that got closed, wasn't it?
I
And
think
then
there
they
was
got
some
a
wide
diversion.
loads that
Oh,
got
was there?
stopped, and they got, because I did when I've seen the aerial footage, I'd seen there's some wide loads that were kind
Right.
of cordoned off, and it's obviously because there is no other route for them to take. They can't go anywhere. They can't turn around. They can't.
But
do
the
anything.
other thing is, those ones that got on the bridge, did they not have to get taken down safely? So didn't that then cost a
supposedly,
lot in police and fuels and helicopters potentially and all that
Oh
sort of
yeah,
stuff?
massive.
So that just kind of completely defeated the object they were aiming for.
Well, it's like David says. It's like it's a long game thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I get the point, and I think the principally the idea of what they're doing. I have said this before. I think I might have said it on here before. I have actually been trying to get one of them to come on the podcast
Yeah,
so
he
we can
did say
actually
that.
properly debate them, because I actually would like to, because I understand the point.
Debate them or have a conversation with them?
Well, like, conversation debate. I mean,
Well,
a kind of a
I could
actual
give 'em my
friendly
drone
kind of
idea.
actual.
You could give us some
We'll
ideas.
Come on with those 20 minutes.
Come
we'll give you
with
some
us.
ideas. Okay, considering what we've just suggested, shut down Heathrow. Maybe we shouldn't be talking to them. For
We'll give you
legal
all the
reasons,
ideas.
we are
We're like-
not
we're like,
stating
oh,
shut
keep
down
going,
that.
keep going. You know, there was a protest one time from Greenpeace in Portland, Oregon, and it did a kind of affected me. But anyway, so they basically had a bunch of people on this bridge called St. John's Bridge in Portland, and they were dangling from it, and they actually had tents dangling. You know, they were actually, which was kind of cool, I suppose. But and
Yeah.
they were basically trying to block this icebreaker ship. Because it came into Portland to get work done. It needed whatever, you know. But this is the kind of big, huge ship that destroys the ice, and you know, and it's just oil, something to do with
Right.
oil and all that kind of stuff. But they were just trying to prevent it from leaving, and
From
they did
doing
prevent
it,
it from
yeah.
leaving for like a few hours, you know. But they were up there for like, I don't know, was it a few hours? But anyway, it was. I actually I drove by it, and on the bridge, so I actually see the ropes hanging. You know, and I could see them dangling and everything, and they have flags. And I honestly, I cannot remember how long but they did manage when the ship actually did attempt, because they didn't actually know when the ship was going to leave, whatever, right? But when it
Right.
did, it just slowly past them, you know, because they had their mast, you know, and you know, but they were swinging back and forth, and like these were like daredevils. I feel, you know, it was like
Wow.
it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool to actually kind of witness it too. But I didn't actually see. I just saw the
So-
news later.
Was it a
Well,
massive bridge and they just literally the boat
Yeah,
passed
yeah.
right past? That's gutting.
They
and
used
you'd be
one of
sat
the
there
other
for
things.
Hours.
Huh?
Like,
And
maybe one of
they
those
used one of the
things.
other. The other
You
fucking-
chain yourself to a tree or something because they're going to cut it down. Oh, we're not cutting that one down, mate. Oh, bollocks.
It's like
That is
it's
something
almost
I
like
would
that.
do.
It's like the old Only Fools and Horses
Yeah.
with the chandelier. the preparation of getting it all, putting the thing under, and then watching the other one fucking drop down. You never seen that, David?
No, I haven't.
So
I know the
fucking
one you
good.
mean
It's
now.
so
Amazing.
good.
Amazing.
I'll send you a link to it later. That's fucking amazing. Instead, I will say, I've seen pictures of climbers, and they've got them tents, the climbing tents.
Yeah. That hang off the edge.
That
sort
always
of thing.
makes me so nervous. Because, like, do you know
Just
when like
climbing in general?
well, no, but think about when you really need to pee in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, oh my God, I really need to pee. And you run and then realise, oh, wait, no, I'm actually on a cliff.
Maybe they strap themselves. Well, obviously they have to be strapped in too.
Strap themselves
No, they're
in.
literally strapped in the entire time.
Oh, yeah, they are.
You did have to be.
I mean, at least your area wouldn't smell like wee, because you just wee off the edge, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I mean,
why not?
Yeah, you could. I mean, some goat would be
like
very
if you
unhappy
go camping.
about the rain.
No, if you go camping,
Well, I'm sure the goat
sometimes,
pisses in the
people
rain
go out
too.
for a wee.
Whatever.
It wouldn't smell around you, would it? You just wee off the edge. That would be a really free feeling. Sorry, I'm just going with that.
Right, should we move on to the next topic,
Yeah,
or
go on
the
then.
next person? Please move this
What
along.
topics do we have?
I think
David, I think you wanted to talk about something.
Yeah, you had something you want to talk about.
Oh well, again,
something light-hearted. I hope it's going to be.
Yes, lighthearted. I want to talk about ADHD.
Oh wow!
Oh no!
And how
Wrong
lighthearted
one.
is that? You know, I know. Again, it's like I didn't discover that I even had it till like I don't know, like 10 years ago. You know, but
Oh, really?
it was. I think I don't know what it was. I might have been watching a YouTube video and like basically they were going through the check marks and like, do you know this? I'm like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, have you ever? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It was like,
How
holy
much
shit!
do you learn from YouTube?
So then
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So then I did a lot more research on it and I did the test and everything is and like and I basically again I'm not. They don't diagnose you. They just say like you probably have it. You know.
Yeah.
I've never done anything for it, but it just looking back through my youth, I'm like, you know what, that makes sense, and it kind of made me think too that I like how the educational system and like I think it's reasonably new as well, ADHD when it comes to like we they didn't really treat for it like
Wasn't
35
really
years
acknowledged,
ago.
was it?
Like
Yeah.
I remember I was in second class and I got kept back. All right, so I had to repeat. I had to repeat it. Now, so when at the end of the year, so this is kind of like a funny, sad story. Depends on how you look at it. But I try to tell it like it's funny. But
so it's a sad story that you're going to try and make a joke out
but
of.
you know, but yeah, okay. So at the end of the year, so there's usually two different. So we're all going to third class. Well, so I thought. So we're all going to third class, and there was two different teachers that you were going. So they basically would, you know, there was Mr. Flynn or whoever. There was Mr. Flynn, and there was I don't know Mr. Merrick. So okay, so they're going to call out all the names for this. Everybody going to Mr. Merrick or these names, and everyone going to Mr. Flynn, and then like I'm waiting, and like.
This is how you got told.
Hold on. Yeah. So basically, and then I was like, so it was like. It was kind of like I'm like everybody going into third class. Please step forward, David. Not so fast. That's kind of how. No. That's kind of how I felt like because basically my name wasn't mentioned, and then they just said, "David, can we have a word with you, please?" And I could hear the whispers.
Oh no!
They're keeping him back. I'm looking
no.
around.
Oh no!
That's how they did it.
What
You know
year
what I
were
mean?
you in at the time?
I was in second class. I was only 8 years old, maybe
Oh,
9.
that's mean.
That's
I couldn't believe it too.
harsh.
I know, right? Why wouldn't my
Why
mom
would
tell
you
me?
do it like that?
I have no idea. But the next year was really easy. It really was.
Bonus.
Which means I learned something. You know what I mean? As in, like, here's the thing. I do very bad with reading. I like extreme. Doesn't matter what kind. It could be anything whatsoever. But I just do extremely bad reading. I can't pay attention to 10 seconds ago. Meaning, as in, like, I can't remember. I don't know. Even with math, as in, like, if a train is going this far, and for whatever length, what time does it arrive in Essex or something? I have no idea. But and like, you give me anything to do with reading, I can't concentrate. You know, and I struggle, like extremely struggle. But if you give me something that actually tips, gives me somewhat of an interest, that's when I ace it, like crazily ace it. You know what I mean? As in, like, just give me. I don't know. It's just I'm finally able to focus, You know what I mean? As in like, but I don't know. It's just, and then throughout my entire life, basically, if anybody tells me a long joke, I'm like, oh boy.
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
like,
can't do that.
and now I'm
I can't do
expected to
them.
I'm expected to laugh at this at the end, and if I don't laugh, I'm going to feel stupid, and it's just, you know what I
Do you
mean?
call
And
these podcasts?
huh?
It's really serious. Well, I do stuff like that. I've forgotten what I was going to say now.
I mean, that
Literally.
if there's ever been a case in point, it would be just there, exactly
literally lost
just
it.
there.
Oh no! Talk on. Oh,
Should we
no.
come back around to you in a second?
Oh
So
my God.
I never had that, but I've said this before. I've got dyslexia. I struggle with it, like somewhat fierce.
So you read words, you look at words, and they get mixed up. Because isn't that what
You can
dyslexia
read it
is?
backwards
No, I think that's
easier or something, don't you?
dyspraxia. Is
What?
where you get stuff mixed. Is it on dyspraxia where you get stuff muddled?
No,
the wrong way
dyslexia
around?
is where
no,
you.
dyslexia is when you get muddled up, and I think you actually find it easier to read it in reverse. So like if your letters are
That kind
turned
of stuff,
around.
yeah. You
Well,
just-
Yeah, you
So there's different.
different
It's
levels,
like
I guess.
I mean, there's different level. I always thought that reading stuff the wrong way around was dyspraxia, but I'll
maybe
have
I
to
have no
double
idea.
check.
That's how
but-
I've always known it.
But with dyslexia, it's kind of like there's like a bunch of different things. Like some people struggle with reading, some people struggle with maths, some people struggle with this, and for me, like so my reading level was like way ahead of everyone else's. I was reading
Okay.
stuff in the next class above because my reading was that far ahead. But like maths, no fucking
Couldn't
chance.
do it.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not a chance. Like I kind of I'm okay with some stuff today, but a lot of it. So with here's something I've actually never really told anyone this actually.
Ooh,
With
exclusive.
not really, not really.
Now you're telling now you're telling the world.
So like times tables,
Mhm.
a lot
Yeah.
of that I didn't learn until I got to Travis Perkins,
Really?
which was only like 6 years ago. Or is it 6, 7 years? However long ago it was.
What,
but-
trying to work out your weights and stuff and that sort of thing?
No, it was because of British Gypsum. British Gypsum, if anyone's listening from British Gypsum, you have inadvertently taught me multiplication because it's because of
Brilliant.
bags of plaster.
Yeah.
Because some of them come as 5, some of them come as 7, and then other different things might come as with certain. So what you do is you'd count the rows, and you'd be like, okay, well,
Times
7
that by
times
such
0
and
there
such.
is this, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
should work it off that. And so that's how I learned. It was only because I was looking at something. Because the guy would write stuff down on a chalkboard. In our maths class, we still had one of them chalkboards, and he'd write it down on the chalkboard, and it just meant nothing to me.
So
It was
you
just
literally did
numbers.
when a truck comes along with such and such and such, and then you times it by this, how many does he have? You literally did that in real life. You learned that way.
Yes, yeah.
You
No,
are the
that's
question.
actually how I learned. Yeah, I became the question. That's exactly what I said. But like, it was like a customer orders.
Yeah.
This much. How many rows of bags? How many bags of multi-finish does he
And you're
is he
there
going to have
answering
if he
it.
has like so?
Physically. You should do a new YouTube channel.
Jesus Christ, no! I should not be teaching maths. I should not be teaching maths. That is something I can fucking tell you for certain.
Oh, there's always
no.
ways to learn.
Oh my god. No, but I think, but on that point, I think with a lot of school, I think they just they have. I think school, to bring it around to trucking, is a bit like learning your HGV and passing your HGV. They teach you
to pass. Yeah.
And
Well, yeah, because you learn so much, you forget it all. Forget everything.
But it's this thing of like, say for instance, in history, they'll teach you they'll teach you names, and
yeah.
they'll teach you dates, because then on your exam it'll say, what date did Napoleon do this?
Yeah.
And my response is,
what Napoleon did.
is exactly what David has just said. Who gives a fuck?
How about we know
does
that he existed? How about just the clip notes?
Yes.
That's all we need to know. We don't need to know.
It's fascinating knowing about him, and I think it's important to know our history. I think it's important to know about like all of these different things and like how Hitler not a great person, and how this was bad, and how this was good. And Titanic, sank because of an iceberg. And
like I know how Napoleon got into power because of YouTube, because of the infographics show.
Yes.
Like it was an entire, and seriously, and now it's fascinating because I was able to visualize it. But in history, I never passed one test. All right.
You could tell me, you could sit here and you could tell me how Napoleon got into power. You could tell me all the different things. But in any part of that, does the date of any of that stuff have any implications other than it was quite a while ago?
Not really.
No, it doesn't.
I like the so I find that this is what I was going to say a minute ago is I like.
Are we staying on subject here, Chloe? Are we actually going
to kind of? So I like. My weird thing is I'll suddenly like get an interest in something really random, and then I'll suddenly do a load of research, and I'll know all about this weird random fact, like the fact that hippos sweat red, and I'll do loads of research into it, and I just know these useless facts for no reason, and then that's it. On to the next thing.
That's basically what history all it is just useless facts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, some people argue, well, with history, we have to learn from history. That's fine. The important people will learn from history. And we're just a small little minions who will just go along with whatever. Again, we don't need to learn about that to repeat history. But anyway.
I will say, just to go on, to recommend another podcast as we're talking about this. Search No Such Thing as a Fish.
Okay.
That is, so do you know QI?
Yeah, I love QI.
Do you know QI? It's QI
good.
is such a. You would.
I'm
telling you right now, you will love QI, David. You will love it.
It's so factual but fun.
But so you find out all of like these interesting like science facts or history facts and this and that. But it's so well researched, like phenomenally well researched into all of like the little bits, and they'll find like little kind of cool little.
Is that the comedy show?
It's a comedy. It's a comedy.
With Stephen Fry, isn't it?
Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones that I heard from him. Again, you see these deck of cards right here? He shuffles them 7 times.
Yes.
This order has never happened in the entire world of history ever. You know what I mean? That was literally the only time I ever seen that show, by the way. It was just that one clip, and it was actually very fascinating.
But it's that's the kind of thing of it. But No Such Thing as a Fish. That's the writers behind QI, the researchers.
So
the people who actually write and research for QI, they're the ones that are on that podcast, which is really good.
Those are my favorite shows. Even like 9 out of 10 cats do countdown. You know,
I love that show.
Carrot in a box. Carrot in a box.
What?
Carrot in a box. Carrot in a box is possibly the funniest thing that has ever happened in the entire history of the universe.
Carrot in a box? I've probably seen it.
Just search after once you get stopped, or just search carrot in a box. Apparently we're just going to recommend.
Hang on, I'm sure you've told me to look at this.
It's so fucking good,
and it's even better if you know the guys. If you know, it's just watching it. Again, there's going to be 2 actual episodes where they did carrot in a box.
I'll watch it later.
And, the second one's pretty good, but the first one is just magnificent. It is absolutely fucking. It is perfection.
Again, this is 9 out of 10 cats do countdown, and the 2 the co-hosts are competing, and they basically have to. One guy has a carrot. There's 2 boxes, and in one of the boxes there's a carrot, and basically they're both given random boxes that they don't get to see, and then one person lifts it up and he closes it, and then he has to convince the other guy what's in there.
Okay, yeah.
And does he have a carrot in his box? And that's pretty much it. That's it. That's the premise of it. Don't say any more because it's fucking amazing. It's so good. Carrot in a box. It's one of my favorite fucking things I've ever seen. Right. What were we talking about?
ADHD.
ADHD.
Well, Jesus Christ. That was genuinely not set up. That was not set up, honestly. Fuck me. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, another thing, too. Honestly. Another reason, as in when I hate... Okay, I test bad. All right? I think I'm living proof that I test bad. All right? Because when I had to do an entrance exam to go into secondary school. And basically, they're just trying to put the smart people with the smart people and dumb people with the dumb people. All right. Again, so I was with the dumb people. I tested, I failed, and all that kind of thing. So I'm with the dumb people. I shouldn't call them that because they're all way talented at some stuff and all that kind of stuff, drawing or whatever, right? But anyway, so I ended up with that, and I aced every single. I was getting A's throughout the entire year. So like, it was just because it was easier, or it was dumbed down for me, or whatever. I have no idea. But again, even in that now, so I'm in literally the lowest year in first year in the dumbest class, and of course computers got brought up, and I think I brought this up before. They just literally brought in computers, basically where you do the Command C/P or DIR/P, and it brings up, you know what I mean. So there was just, they had some basic programs, and then we all had to study the exact same thing. Everybody in the entire school had the exact same test and everything. But no, I found computers fascinating, like absolutely fascinating. You couldn't have. I was 100% focused, and I did all 4 tests within 20 minutes, and I aced it. You know what I mean? And then he was using me as an example to for the rest of the school, whoever failed it.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? It's just because I had the interest. And I was absolutely amazed by it, and like so it's just that put me into a situation where I have to do a lot of reading. I don't understand it.
It does also sometimes. I notice it helps with the teacher as well. If you've got a decent teacher that's understanding and helpful with it.
100%.
So when I was in school, I was doing really, really well in maths, like up until year 9, and I was doing A's. I was top of the class. I was doing really, really well. Really proud of myself. And then the next year, got a really bad teacher, and just everything about that. Just I literally started getting D. Like I was
I bet you during the parents' evening, stuff like that, they were asking you why are you not doing as well? Why?
Yeah,
no one would ever look at the teacher and go, wait a second. She's been doing this well. She's had A's. Yeah. The second you've come in, her grades have dropped. Maybe that's something to do with you.
It was picked up. My mum picked up and kicked off about it. She was not happy about it. It was a big thing about it. But then, like I said, that is, if you've got a decent teacher that's willing to work with you and help you and work with you, not against you. So I've got like problems with Logan, or I did have at his old school. So when he went to preschool before he went up into the actual proper school, we were having a lot of bad problems with him because he was a little bit behind. And they were sort of basically, he's autistic, and putting him in a corner. And like,
did
they
put
literally
a dunce cap on him?
They may as well as, like, he literally went to go to school one day, and he got really upset about going in. And like, wherever kids do go through stages like that. And but with Logan, they let every other kid go in the main door, and they'd be like, "Oh, it'll be all right, don't worry about it." But they went, "Oh, just go around the back with him, put him in that way." I was like, "What?" So then for months on end, he was getting upset, and he had to go around his own special way and get completely like disincluded from everything. They just literally set up a table for him with his trains and left him to do that on his own. And there was just so much that he got like left behind in, and he just wasn't being included.
Just very quickly, my man's into his trains. Just have to pay big up. I like my trains when I was a kid. That was it.
Logan,
that was the whole
Logan doesn't like it anymore. So unlucky. He likes dinosaurs.
Little prick. Sorry.
Dinosaurs are awesome.
Dinosaurs are amazing.
Dinosaurs
Have
are
you
great.
seen some of the toys you can get nowadays? I want some.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like, there's probably one around here somewhere.
I remember taking my sons to the Natural
Jurassic
History
Park?
Museum in.
at
My
that.
God, that'd be so good. That's great.
Wasn't expecting that.
I took him to the Natural History Museum in London, and he was terrified of the dinosaurs.
Was he
straight
really?
up fucking terrified of the dinosaurs. Yeah.
They're quite realistic then, were they?
Oh, yeah, and the move, and it's all like animatronics and shit like that.
Wow,
It's
that's
fucking
cool.
Nice. It's cool as anything.
Because they were doing like a special thing in London. Is that the same sort of thing? They did a proper Jurassic World thing. We'll take Logan, but it was going to work
That's
about 500
different.
quid.
What?
Excuse me? How much?
Well, because obviously we live down in
500?
Devon, yeah.
Oh,
something
right. No,
ridiculous, 'cause we'd have
not
to go
for
up by
tickets.
train.
Right.
No,
okay.
it
Right.
was
Yeah,
like
the whole thing. Yeah.
the whole weekend would have
Right, yeah.
wanted to do it for Logan's birthday, and it was like £90 or so for the family, which was like, oh, that's not too bad. That's quite a big thing. And then it was like trains. We're obviously going to go, all 3 of us on trains, and then we'd have to stay there, and it just soon adds up, doesn't it? I'm not doing that. We'll go to the park.
on traveling and learning stuff, I'm interested. I don't know if I'm a psychopath for this, but do you know when you go flying? Do you ever like watching Air Crash Investigation?
Excuse me?
What, in the air?
Yeah.
No, that's not
Okay,
something
wow.
I would do.
What did you say, Tom? I'm sorry, I didn't actually hear what you said.
So you know the TV show Air Crash Investigation?
No.
So there's basically a program where they just investigate why it crashed.
So it's basically it shows
happened.
how the plane's gone down.
And you're sat there
it's
on a plane watching this at the same time.
It's fascinating.
Does that not give you anxiety?
Are you watching it from the screen on the back of the headrest? Or are you watching this on your phone?
I was watching it on my laptop at the time.
Okay.
Someone sat in the back seat going, "Oh my god, what are we doing?"
No, people were watching me, and I was watching this thing of like planes going down, and I was like, I downloaded a bunch of them when I went on it, and honestly, I love it. I could sit there.
Do you only watch it when you're on an airplane?
I don't know. I've got more of an interest because I want to know about.
Yeah, do you go through like phases? Like I'll go through random phases, like where I'll watch a load of YouTube, like on Area 51 for like a week on end, and I'll just know everything about that, and then I'll move on to something like Ghost Hunters and stupid things like that.
I still watch stuff. I still watch stuff on like Ghost and Area 51.
I love watching stuff like that,
even though I know it's absolute and utter bollocks.
I know,
but there's something
so
about
good.
it that part of me kind of wants to believe it.
Yeah.
Even though I know my brain's like, there's no way this is possible. Like I literally, my previous house was either double murder or murder suicide. If there's got to be ghosts somewhere,
you've said
it
about
would be in that house. No ghosts. Never saw a single ghost. And if I was to see a ghost, it would be in that house. And I spent a lot of time in that house because I lived there. So
you don't believe in ghosts? Or
absolutely.
How often do your kids ever look at something and like they're just following nothing?
Never. It's a load of bollocks. It's absolute bollocks.
So I've had some weird things happen to me.
Is this, by the way, is this how we're ending the show? Oh God!
Did it happen? We have 15 minutes left.
It wasn't in a lay-by or anything before you go there.
Oh, I was going to go there.
No, we well, like my dad is not sort of ghosty or anything like that. And when he was younger, he basically did Ouija boards, and he's to an extent that he will never tell us about it. We've tried to ask, and there's something weird that follows him with that, and he's never ever told us, and he's not like that way inclined at all.
Isn't
it's
there a
weird.
film about that? About something following people?
I don't know, but my dad basically has a demon or something that follows him.
What?
Yeah, literally. If he's ill or something, it's at the end of his bed watching him. He gets weird things going on. And then, like, when my grandma died, I used to get weird breathing behind me for a little while. That was weird. And then when me and Daryl lived in our old house, we were literally all in bed, just me and Daryl, and obviously Logan was a baby at this point. In the kitchen, all of a sudden we just heard this massive bang. All the cupboard doors just swung open and slammed shut again. That was horrible.
I was in Sydney, and there's this part of the not the island, but of the peninsula or whatever you want to call it, where anybody who was sick had to go to this particular area. It was anyway. So we were visiting. It was a tourist attraction. You go on a tour and all that kind of stuff, and then they put you into this room, pitch black, and they basically saying, like, hey, some of you, none of you, all of you may hear something, may hear some noise or whatever, right? And this is just more of like, and I'm like going in like, for fuck's sake, whatever, come on, let's just fucking do it, let's get it over and done with, and all that kind of stuff. So, and you don't see it, you don't even, like, seriously, it's pitch black, you don't even see the bottom of the door or anything and all that kind of stuff, you know. And then all of a sudden, as in like, you know, like I hear the, you know, in my ear and all that kind of thing. Timothy, fuck off. And then I hear my, and it turns out that I was actually all my family were on the other side of the room, and like he wasn't there. There was nobody there. I'm like, who the fuck was that? And I was okay. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
I'm out.
Honestly, and I'm like, but it just didn't make sense. And I looked when they opened up the door and turned the lights on. There was like, there's no secret anything. There's no, and like I heard, and it was just more like, I don't know, what special effects did they use for that, motherfuckers? Killing the fucking shit out of me.
I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a fucking story.
Oh, you've conveniently got one now, have you?
You need to talk really close.
You were poo-pooing it a minute ago.
I'll tell you a story. So I don't know how old I was. We'd come back from Austria, and we'd driven from Austria, and we were going to my stepdad's parents in London.
Yeah.
And I think I'd have to remember about this. And she thinks I had like scarlet fever or something like that. I wasn't. I was ill, anyways. I had a high temperature. And I got into, and then this house was this big Victorian house with really high ceilings. So like as high as your normal ceiling, possibly doubled up. So like really, really tall ceilings. And I was in bed, and I felt like something. I felt like something was in the room, and I remember
Ooh.
looking to the corner of the room, kind of at the foot of the bed, forwards in the corner of the room, and this thing. The only way I could describe it is like a Harry Potter Dementor rose up and was the height of the ceiling, and was just looking down at me, and I fucking shit myself, and I ran. I just ran to my mum, but supposedly what happened was because I hadn't had enough sleep because we've been driving all the way from Austria, and I'd obviously been awake for a lot of it, and I was ill at a high temperature because of scarlet fever, and apparently this is kind of like not totally uncommon, but I for about a month afterwards, whenever like I just even at school, I remember being in science class and having this horrible just cold fear of me because I remembered this thing looking at me, and even though it had no eyes, I could feel it looking at me. It wasn't nice, but it was.
Do you reckon that's to do with your scarlet fever? Because I've had a weird thing like that.
Yeah, it's basically it's your brain just goes fucked when you're too tired as a kid, and yeah.
Well, I didn't have scarlet fever. I was slaving over at a mate's house when I was probably about the same age, and during the night I just woke up really cold to something very much similar to what you've seen, pretty much standing over me, and I basically did exactly the same. Got up and legged it, and there was no eyes, like you say, but you could see it looking at you. Exactly the same thing.
Maybe you have to have a certain temperature to see these real things.
No,
maybe they exist. Yeah, and the only reason you can see them,
it's kids' brains, and it's not having, it's not having like enough sleep or
you reckon
they're real.
Something there?
I'm absolutely telling you right now, as someone who's seen something like this.
So your parents convinced you. They basically gaslighted you. You believed them.
I believe there's something there. I believe it. The
telling you right now, there's fucking
always
not.
understand is the medium things, but we'll have to have Domino on for another conversation with that. I've been having a conversation with her this week. She's got some stories.
We do need to have Domino back on, actually.
Yeah.
I've missed having her on, actually. We need to get her on.
Some stories for us.
We need to get a microphone working is what we need to do. I need to get her internet working properly.
Yeah.
There are two things we 100% need to do. Because her internet was shite. Do you have any... I think you said something about a viewer question.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. I forgot about this. We got excited with ghosts. So, we've had a message from a lady called Caroline on Instagram, and she's in Ireland.
Yay!
Yay, Ireland. And basically, she's doing her tests at the moment. I don't know if it's a class 1. Yes. I think she's doing her class 1 lessons, but apparently she's got travel 2 hours from one side of Ireland to another to go and do it once a week. I was like, wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, because there's nowhere near her or something. Anyway, this is meaning she's found her podcast and she's been listening to it and literally binging it. So at the moment,
she's definitely heard about my game,
fresh.
then, hasn't she?
I don't know if she's got that far.
You have a lot of mentions of that bloody game to go through. so many of them.
So at the moment, she's binging. At the moment, salmon is very fresh. And she's got a question that I couldn't really answer on my own. And she said, basically, there's a reoccurring thing about salmon smacking with wet salmon on a cyclist. Which she agrees with, but her listener question is assuming cyclist salmon bashing is still an actively encouraged thing by us. Then I'm finally a proper class 1 driver. Can I use trout instead, as there's a trout farm up the road?
Absolutely.
Well, no, because just bear in mind, trout aren't as big, are they? What's 20
Salmon
seconds?
were bigger, aren't they? Salmon
Yeah.
are bigger.
Well,
We had
sometimes
we
salmon
had
can be
a
so big you might not be able to throw
specific
them.
reason. Yeah, but it's not the throw, it's the slap, isn't it? It's the slap you want. I mean, how big do trout get, really?
I don't know.
Fuck me! King
Apparently-
salmon
apparently
get up
very
to
big.
1 point. King salmon get up to 1.5 meters in length.
Wow. I know they can get big. But what's a trout then? I just don't think it's big enough.
So much dead silence. Sorry.
24.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm waiting on Edge to find out about the trout.
Like
Everyone
60
is. They're like
60 centimeters.
Right.
So about
nowhere near
24,
as big.
about 24 inch. Nowhere near as big. You're
So, I
looking
mean,
at like a third of the size.
Then you're looking at that. Basically, a salmon potentially could kill a cyclist, and then a trout would just potentially slap it in the face.
but you got to think 1.5 meters. How far? Because technically, at 1.5 meters, if you're holding a salmon out of the door,
Class 1,
you can still legally pass them with the 1.5 meters and hit them.
I see. Is this the logic we're going with?
So
Right.
whereas if you're holding a trout at only 60 centimeters, you'd have to get in within that 1.5 meters to hit them, unless you had a 1 meter pole with the trout on the end of it. So no.
I feel like this is
So
where
still
we're
got
losing
the
all our
salmon.
listeners.
Well, I was just going to go with potentially you could have a trout shooter then. Just start shooting them.
Could do pike are over a meter in length. Could do that.
Yeah. Is that an Irish thing?
Pike are everywhere. Yeah, pike are
I've never
everywhere.
fished in Ireland.
Oh, David, you're like an Irish person here.
I
You
barely
could've
fished
bought
in
in the
America.
Anyway, that was the question. So we're going with no. Yeah.
It looks like no.
Yeah,
Trout are not acceptable. Salmon are the only fish. What I'll do is I'll chat with Chris about it, see if we can get any further information for you.
Yeah.
But thank you for the question,
Very
there,
important.
Christine.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. There you go.
Cool.
All good.
It was Caroline, by the way.
Oh, Caroline.
Wrong. You fucked that one.
Fuck it. That's what your name is now. Right. Is that everything? Are we done?
That's it. That's it. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
out.
Grand job.
I'm
right.
done.
Okay. Any other little pieces of housekeeping or anything like that?
Nah.
Check out Skip Chick because I'm amazing. I'm not. I'm just taking the piss. But
You
if
can
you
check
watch
out
my
Accept
latest
Access.
video, I'm limping around, so it's quite funny.
Is it funny?
That's it. Just limping. I'm crippled. Laugh at me.
Yeah.
Gotta use what I can get, isn't it?
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. And if you haven't listened, how is it you got this far? But we shall see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.